So it was a couple of years ago when Hero first showed us what the Xpulse is going to be at EICMA 2017. Last year at the Delhi Auto Expo 2018, they showed us a production version of the Hero Xpulse. Last year also at EICMA 2018, they showed us what the Hero XPulse200 is going to be like. So without any doubt, it's been a long time coming, but finally, both of these motorcycles are ready to hit the Indian market. And we've got them with us to test out and see whether the hype has been worth it. Let's start off with the one that's had a lot of people talking about it, the XPulse200. First thing first, right from the moment you see this motorcycle in flesh, it looks the part. It still has some resemblance to the Impulse, but it is a completely new motorcycle. The first thing that will catch your attention is the stance of the motorcycle, which is of a proper dual-purpose motorcycle. This is due to the combination of the 21-inch front wheel and an 18-inch wheel at the back, which are shod with dual-purpose tires. It also gets large suspension travel, 190mm at the front and 170mm travel at the back. Then there's also the impressive 220mm ground clearance and a seat height of 823mm as well. And lastly, the narrow seat and the high set handlebar position complete the XPulse200. The destination for the day was Big Rock Dirt Park, which I have to say is one of the finest off-roading venues in the country, but that was about 100 kilometers away, so we first got to experience the XPulse200 on the road, and that brings us to the engine. It is powered by the exact same engine that we first saw on the Xtreme 200R, and it is in the exact same state of tune as well. However, for the XPulse200 only, you also get an option of having this with fuel injection on board. The engine's sweet spot lies at about 80 to 90 km an hour, which makes it great for city riding, but when you're out on the highway, overtakes will require some work. And we wish that wasn't the case, as it offers great riding dynamics. And because of this, the engine feels a tad bit underpowered. The ride and handling, on the other hand, leaves nothing to be complained about. What does is the seat, which is way too hard for long journeys and will need to be replaced if you plan on sitting on it for more than a couple of hours. So there you have it. Now you know what the XPulse200 is like on the road, but that is not the only place where it is meant to excel at, because back there is where the XPulse200 belongs. When it comes to going off-road, boy does it leave you in smiles. We went riding on trails, through carefully laid out obstacles and even a dirt track that just eggs you on to go faster. And in all these scenarios, the XPulse200 did not let itself down. If anything, it was a fun motorcycle to throw around, and it allows you to learn so much, as it is not intimidating at all and has just enough power to let off-road amateurs like me not leave wanting for more. Also, the 10-stage preload adjustable rear suspension, the upswept exhaust, handlebar guards, the aluminium bash plate and the wind deflector up front is a welcome addition. Now coming to the XPulse200T. Now the T in its name signifies that it is meant to be for touring. So let's put that claim to test. Well, if you go touring, then you will appreciate the new instrument cluster that both the Xpulses get. It shows almost everything you would need to know. The LCD panel has good visibility even under harsh daylight, and interestingly, it can also connect to Hero's app in your smartphone through Bluetooth to show turn-by-turn navigation. And that's a fantastic feature and very helpful when you're out on the road. Now the 200T also shares the same engine as the XPulse200, but in this case there is no option for a fuel-injected unit. But when it comes to what's different in the T version of the Xpulse, well, the biggest changes are the different tires and the different suspension. In the T, the tires are the exact same ones as the ones we have seen on the Xtreme 200R, which means it gets 17-inch wheels front and back. The swing arm is also the same, and so are the disc brakes, both front and back. Also, the suspension travel on the T is also lesser than the XPulse200. Now all these changes result in the fact that the 200T is a better handling machine on the road than the XPulse200. But then again, it is limited to just on-road, as it doesn't get the fancy bits necessary to make it a capable off-roader. And you really have to be sure as to what kind of a use do you want with the 200T, because, well, it lies somewhere in a bit of an odd spot. You may say that you want to go corner hunting and prefer spirited riding in the city, but then you are better off with the Xtreme 200R or even the Xtreme 200S, which is frankly a great sporty commuter and more capable on roads. If you want to go off-roading, then the Xpulse200 is without a doubt the better motorcycle and costs just 3,000 rupees more. And if it's city commutes, then the Xpulse200T is almost identical to the Xtreme 200R. So, we have to say that if you want an Xpulse, do consider spending marginally more and going for the Xpulse200.
So there you have it. This is everything that you need to know about both the Xpulses that are getting launched in India. Yes, the Xpulse200T is a very impressive motorcycle, but my heart tends to lean towards the Xpulse200 because this one offers everything that one does and a little bit more as well.
So to sum up the entire experience, well, the Xpulse200 is the one to go for, not only amongst these two motorcycles but even in general if you want to try your hand at trail riding or off-roading. Add to that decent touring ability and a fantastic price tag to go along with it, and the Xpulse200 becomes a motorcycle that we highly recommend.